Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly tech update, the show that explores the newest, coolest, and sometimes crazy side of tech available on the interwebs. I am your video game geek, Ray McNeil. Coming up on the program today, check out this 1-minute EV battery swapping station in China. SpaceX reveals concrete details about Starship's first orbital test flight, and this is on the heels of a successful landing of its SN-15 Starship. Happening in this week's What the? Just a bit of harmless fun from a family that has a pet chimpanzee. And we'll wrap up the program with this week's Moment of Joy. All that and a whole lot more coming up on today's edition of your weekly tech update next. NIO may have started making headlines with its increasing network of electric vehicle battery swapping stations in China, but fellow Chinese carmaker Geely is now doing the same. The former already has almost 200 stations that are already operational, so it has a head start, but Geely wants to catch up and promises to have 100 stations up and running by the end of the year. Even though battery swapping makes EVs a bit more complex, companies that are embracing it argue that extra complexity is actually worth it because it's so much quicker than charging. I would have to agree. Spending not more than a minute to have a fully charged battery as opposed to waiting around for it to be charged really does sound good in theory. If you're curious about how battery swapping works, this video published on YouTube by Geely takes you through the entire process if you drive a Geely EV in China. First, you have to use an app to locate the nearest swapping station. The app actually shows the distance to the station as well as the number of available battery packs. You select your desired destination and then drive there. Once at the station, you simply drive into a small building as you would into an automated car wash, position your vehicle in the right place to allow for the depleted pack to be removed, and the entire process takes about a minute. Once the new battery has been installed, this is all done automatically, by the way, under the car while the driver is still inside. Then you simply drive the vehicle out of the station and proceed on your way. The video makes it look so quick and easy that you really do wonder why battery swapping didn't take off when Renault first tried it over a decade ago now. The French automaker's first series EV, the Fluence ZE, had been designed with battery swapping in mind, but the company eventually dropped the idea altogether and concentrated on making its electric vehicles charge quicker instead. I absolutely love it when you see new technology and it's pushed to its extreme. Now, yes, airliners haven't really traditionally been a lightning rod for innovation. Commercial wide-body planes really haven't changed all that much over the last few decades, but amid an industry-wide push to reduce carbon emissions, a bonkers new jumbo jet concept is aiming to change all that. SE Aeronautics' new SE200 prototype takes a disruptive approach to every metric in ultra-wide-body aircraft design and performance. The tri-wing design with a double tail fin and 2 engines mounted on the rear will be able to accommodate up to 264 passengers, but will consume 70% less fuel than a similar-sized jet. Its projected range of 10,500 miles with a top speed of Mach 0.90 is also greater than any other jet in its class. The high-lift wing design gives the SE200 short takeoff and landing potential, thus increasing the number of smaller airports that it could access as well. Some of its secrets are fuel storage. It's no longer going to take place in the wings, so the designers made them thinner and more aerodynamic. Instead, the fuel is stored on a bladder on top of the fuselage, part of the aircraft's singular design. SE points to its integrated integrated monocoque structure as a breakthrough for performance and safety. The company notes aircraft manufacturers bolt together large sections called barrels in order to maximize production. This is usually where fuselages break apart in an accident. SC says theirs will be a single piece of tough composite. The monocoque design and composite materials will make the aircraft the most efficient ever built, claims the company anyway, with a quote, 50-year service life. We will also be able to build these aircraft in less than half the time that it takes to normally build an aircraft, it says. The engines at the rear of the aircraft have a combined 64,000 pounds of thrust. But the jewel in the crown is the ability to get that fuel consumption rate down by 70%. They are going to revolutionize the industry, the company says. In the last 12 months, they've produced multiple business jet concepts focused on sustainability through innovative design. The 314-passenger Flying V was designed as a fuel-efficient long-range aircraft in which the passenger seating, fuel tanks, and baggage hold are built into the wings. It's a more radical look than the SC-200, but shows how forward-looking designers are generally thinking about future flight. Whether both designs are flying in a decade or simply remain smart but fantastical concepts is anyone's guess. But imagine what the SC-200 widebody would look like in a business jet package, with just 18 seats and 10 spacious private areas that would include a business center, multiple lounges, bedroom with shower, media room, and dining area. Take the Flying V concept and turn it into the business jet, and the design would be even wilder. Now those would be revolutionary designs. Mars is becoming a busy place. The footprint of a Chinese robot imprinted on the surface of Mars recently made China just the third nation to safely reach the red planet's surface. The ambitious Tianwen-1 mission was China's first attempt to reach the surface of another planet. China has joined an elite club of spacefaring nations with this historic landing, said Alan Duffy, an astronomer at Swinburne University and lead scientist at the Royal Institute of Australia. The Tianwen-1 spacecraft, which had been orbiting Mars since February, released a shielded capsule towards the surface. Inside was the rover Zhurong, strapped to the back of a landing vehicle that deployed parachutes and fired thrusters to slow itself down. China follows the U.S. in becoming just the second nation to have a rover travel across the Martian surface. Given the wealth of information, amateur astronomers tried to discern how the mission was proceeding by listening to the telltale radio signals being beamed back to Earth, since China didn't broadcast any of what was going on to the public. Zhurong landed in Utopia Planitia, one of Mars's largest impact craters. NASA's defunct Viking 2 spacecraft landed in the same crater back in 1976. Utopia Planitia is expected to house a cache of underground ice and may have once been covered by Martian ocean, and of course is where the Enterprise was built. Sorry, a quick geek moment there. Where there was once water, there may have been life. Zhurong, like NASA's Perseverance, will explore the region and search for signs of past life. The last 10 months have been a busy one for Martian exploration. 3 spacecraft, including Tianwen-1, launched to Mars in July of 2020, taking advantage of Earth's proximity to the red planet. The United Arab Emirates Hope orbiter, which will survey Mars's atmosphere from space, inserted itself into orbit in February. Not long after, NASA's now famous rolling rover Perseverance and its history-making flying companion Ingenuity reached the surface of Mars, landing in an ancient lake bed that may once have been home to Martian life.